What is up, fuckers? This is Vanta. My earplug just popped out, but fuck. Just got off work. God damn it, every time I fucking come to work, dude, some of the dumb shit that my clients, I guess you would call them, would say. These educated people. Not educated, just the college experience. I don't know, that these people are still fucking children, and even look at some of the professors too. These guys are old and stuff, and it's just, I don't know. I really don't know what to say about it. It's just bizarre, man. The people just don't develop, I guess, in the university. People say in university, they skip the part, and that sounds retarded as fuck. But god damn it. My hearing's all lopsided right now because my earplug just popped out. Hey, fuck out of here. But yeah, Acura. Calm down. You too, Corolla. Fuck out of here. But let's get into the weed stories. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to include this morning's Motovlog. I keep on wanting to say podcast. But the Motovlog, I'm not going to really include it because it's kind of boring. I was hungover, half awake, wasn't really all there. But one thing I would want to put out there is my experience with weed, which never want to do that again. Well, maybe in the distant future, but it currently fucked me up. Like, big time. It changed my perspective on life. Not changed, but it... I don't know. I'm still trying to find the words for it, but... Essentially, the first time I smoked weed was with my buddy... from high school. He's a Marine. He's all into it. He was really into weed when I tried it. He gave me like a Delta 8 or 9 pen, whatever, and he told me to hit it a couple times. And I was like, alright, I'm not really feeling anything, dude. And he's like, oh, okay, take a couple more. And I was like, nope. I told him I kind of feel drunk in a way, like just the waviness of drunkenness, but without the weight of it, if that makes sense. Because when you're drunk, you kind of feel like your brain is kind of swaying back and forth and stuff. You can physically feel it, like the force behind it, of like that unsteadiness. And that's what I felt like with the weed, but you don't feel the weight. You're just kind of waving back and forth without the weight, if that makes any sense. I was like, yeah, I'm just really feeling that. I was like, alright, cool, that's fine, dude. Like, we'll stop right there. And I was like, okay. And we were standing outside when I hit the pen, and he's like, alright, he needed to park his car. He needed to move his car up a couple spots just to, I guess to avoid getting a ticket or whatever, because we were at his house. And that's when it hit me. I got in his car, and it was like, woof, like everything just kind of zoomed in. And I was like, oh, fuck. It was crazy. Yeah, everything's zoomed in. It's like your peripherals, like the most outer. That's the easiest way to explain it. It's just everything's zoomed in, and I was like, oh my, like I just didn't know where I was anymore. And then when we got out of the car, we were talking about the car because he has a pretty cool car. It's like an old Buick, really nice condition with nice wheels and everything. We were talking about the car for a while, and it just kept on, the high just kept on increasing it or intensifying. He's like, alright, bro. He told me, like, let's just head to my house. I'm like, bro, where the fuck are we? Like, where even is your house? I'll follow you. And we were literally standing across the street from his house. And I was like, bro, I don't even know what your house is or what that even means. But let's go there. From there, I just kind of was, just kind of chilled out on this couch, was in and out of sleep, and You know, I can physically feel the weed like kind of moving around in my blood. It was like, and I was having these visual hallucinations like in my mind, and I've had them every single time I smoke weed, but I've only ever had them once since then, like without weed or anything. No, nothing. Just the lack of sleep is really what triggers it. Like daydreaming hallucinations, I guess. But yeah, I was hallucinating like my blood, like there was some kind of fountain in my body that was, you know, pouring clear water, which I assumed was like was my blood, because it was in tune with my heartbeat and everything. So it was like, you know, I stopped existing here in this. We'll get into that, but I stopped existing here and just was experiencing this fountain, just watching it like a movie, I guess. And this fountain was pumping clear water, and then it would just turn like greenish yellow as the weed kept on moving through my system, to eventually all it was pumping was like just, you know, fully saturated green yellow water. And then I became aware of the tongue in my mouth, realizing it's much bigger than I, you know, originally perceived it to be. And that got really distracting. I started feeling the texture of my tongue and stuff. It was very, it was very distracting. Not distracting, but I was very focused on that now. I became aware of it. Even when I went to go pee, I'm like, this feels different now too. Like, it's like, for me, it's like, it's kind of like a painful thing. Like, not painful as in like, you know, it hurts or anything, but it's just like like if someone pinches you, that kind of similar. That's a similar sensation, I guess, I became aware of when I was peeing. But again, just everything was just fucking weird, dude. It was. I just became more aware of things, and then when eventually I just kind of slept slept some more on this couch, and I was having this kind of third-person view of myself. You know, I was kind of like, my eyes were up in the ceiling, pretty much in the corner of the ceiling, like a fly-in-the-wall kind of perspective, and I was just experiencing things that way. But yeah, that was pretty cool. I mean, he ordered food. I had pancakes. That tasted awesome. Or no, first he gave me like a lemon candy, like a hard candy, lemon drop. That was cool. That was cool as fuck. It was like a whole fireworks show in with my taste buds and stuff. I can visualize the taste of lemon, and the same with pancakes. We ordered pancakes, and I didn't I mean, obviously, because the pancake itself is a sponge. Effectively, it's a sponge that soaks up the syrup. But then like my taste buds were like picking up like each individual molecule of just glucose or whatever, sugar, as I was eating it, and they were just exploding on my tongue. Like, again, it was like a fireworks show, and I was like, whoa, this is really cool. And then I believe he had me try his burger, because I was telling him about that. I'm like, bro, like, this food is no longer just eating now. It's like, it's a whole fucking experience. He's like, alright, cool, dude, like, try my burger. That was gross as fuck. Like, that was like, I don't know if you watched that episode of SpongeBob where they turn into a sports bar, and the customer looks at what he's eating, and it's like just gray mush. That's what it felt like. It was just like the texture of ground beef was just mush. It was not pleasant at all. But pancakes though, and candy, that was pretty sick. So I guess just sweet things, because I did have Doritos in a second time, in another episode, and just salty and savory things just did not taste well when I'm high, or when I was high. I don't plan to get high again, ever again. Fuck that. Because the second time I smoked weed was with my cousin, because I was like, that was a really cool experience. Let me go experience it with my cousin. So we went to the dispensary, bought some pretty potent fucking weed, but I didn't know anything. Like, I don't look into it. I don't really care about it. but he bought some pretty potent weed because he's a pothead, or he was. I think no, yeah, he gave up after what happened. Chill out, car. Hey, give me room. But yeah, we just went out to the collecting pools or the riverbed, whatever you want to call it. You know, out there in kind of nature, or as much as LA would let you get close to nature. And we smoked we shared like a pretty fat joint. And yeah, just immediately, because you know how we have mountains here in LA, or kind of in the, you know, the San Gabriel Mountains, whatever. Immediately I just started seeing the flowers on the mountains, which were like 10, 15 miles away. And I was like, that's pretty cool. But immediately the weed just hit me really hard, and I just sat down and I went to sleep. Out there in the riverbed. You know, my cousin was chilling, and I was having those visual hallucinations again, but amidst that, like, it felt like everything just stopped. Like my thought process, the perception of time, everything literally just stopped, like a frozen computer program. And I was kind of stuck in this frame. And from there, you know, you're trying to reconfigure your, you know, life in this stuck frame, as opposed to now, you know, we're living in, you know, many frames, I guess, as time moves. But imagine if your life, you just take a picture of, you know, whatever you're currently seeing, and that is reality from now on, moving forward. You know, there's no more time, because nothing moves. And because of that, I had to focus on what things really were as I was perceiving them. For example, like just everything, man. Everything are just ultimately colors and vibrations. You know, think about sound. It's literally vibrations. You can feel sound. It's a vibration. The things you touch. You ever wonder where that comes? Like, let's think about like sight as well. Yes, they're colors that we're looking at, light that we're looking at, but ultimately, what is it? Like, if you really focus on the things, or if you're able to focus, you know, everything's vibrating to some degree. You know, and the more clarity, the more clear something appears to be, the less it tends to vibrate. But yeah, just everything is vibrations. Even the things you touch, it's different, you know, frequencies of vibrations, I guess. You know, different intensities. Everything, and that's what I became. Oh, I just like fucking need a beat right now. Everything is just ultimately vibrations. I like to include colors in it because, you know, the sight is a much it's not different, but it's easier to distinguish sight from the other senses. Because of how distinct, you know, again, I'm still trying to figure this out, but how distinct vibrations are. But like, ultimately, what I learned from that, I mean, let's just go back to the thing. Like, again, you know, I was able to kind of break out of that kind of freeze frame and break out. It wasn't really breaking out. It was kind of, I literally just felt going through, like, it felt like I was going through hell. Like, my soul was fucking burning, because the more I tried to reconfigure myself in this freeze frame of reality, the less, or the more, like, I was losing myself, like my memories, my sense of being, my thoughts. The more I was losing that, my identity, yeah, just my whole everything. So, and then when I came back into reality, it wasn't like, oh, like, you know, it went from freeze frame and then it just continued on. It was more like these this freeze frame, these colors and vibrations, they just slowly became clearer, and it was like, oh, that's what it revealed to me, like, nah, the freeze frame is not like your brain just shut off. It's like, nah, this correlates with how the universe works and shit. You know, you're not excluded from the entire process of the universe. which again, that doesn't make sense. Sounds kind of schizophrenic in a way. But it is, there's a lot of, I mean, there is some truth that I just had to kind of, there's, again, it's really hard to find the words to describe it, but like, even like, if you think about your internal thoughts and shit, like the concept of God, you know, what God is, you know, this omnipotent being, omniscient, you know, this all-knowing, all-seeing, all-hearing, yeah, but like, you would think, you know, we are, what do you call them? We are like autonomous beings. We, you know, the thoughts we have in our head, we think they're private, that they belong to ourselves, but and you know, they affect nothing outside the universe or outside of my mind, like physically, you know. But ultimately, what I learned is like, nah, these thoughts, they're no different than the, you know, the real things you hear in the real world. You know, the dreams you have, they're no less real than, you know, when you're awake. Yeah, but again, that's what I learned from that. But again, as I was coming back to consciousness, I guess, you know, I started freaking the fuck out. And my cousin started, you know, he was like, hey, yo, let's get you to my car and get you to your bed and whatever. And I was freaking out. I was hyperventilating. I was like, I didn't even recognize who he was, because again, I just came back from like losing myself. So I was like, who is this guy? Like, I think I should know him, but I don't know why. And he didn't even look like him anymore, because again, I guess because the brain kind of assigns certain features to people that you're familiar with, but you don't actually, like, even if you physically observe them, you don't actually know how they objectively look, because your brain is just applying these subjective filters onto it. But yeah, I didn't know who he was. Everything, it felt like, was in low resolution, because we were chilling out outside my house for a while. He was trying to get me to calm down, and the inside of his car did not exist. It was just like staring out into space, and then his windows were just kind of these screens into the real world, I guess. And you know, outside there was some guy just like mowing his lawn, but like, he did not look human. He looked like a robot. Like, it was just low poly, like a shitty PS1 game. And then that freaked me out some more, because, you know, he noticed me freaking the fuck out, and again, just the way he moved, it was like a shitty PlayStation game. But yeah, that freaked me the fuck out. What else happened? I mean, but yeah, eventually, you know, I got to my room. You know, my brother brought me water. I puked the fucking weed. Every time I smoke weed, I fucking puke. Like, a lot of water. I don't know. I mean, I drink a lot of water, but I'm like, where the fuck did this come from? Like, a literal fucking, like, liter of water. But I think of it. Yeah, I guess it's playing music. Interesting. But yeah, but when I came back, you know, after the weed was gone out of my system, I just was not okay. You know, I just came back from realizing that, you know, everything I thought was, you know, objectively unreal was real. I just was not okay. I didn't, you know, it felt like I literally went through hell. I experienced what hell was. Which you think, like, you know, me as a Catholic being like, I'm fucking burning for eternity. Eventually you get used to it. But then you realize, like, wait, no, when you burn, you disintegrate. You're like, not only your body, but like your sense of being, your connection with time and with God, I guess. It all just disintegrates, which is fucking, that terrified the fuck out of me. And ultimately, you know, I did come to terms with it, knowing, you know, if whatever happens upon death, that may very well be it. But coming to terms with it is made me more at peace in this reality that we're currently living in. Because it's like, yeah, it's great, you know, like I get to choose how I perceive, how I get to choose how I perceive reality by making the choices that I can here in this life. you know, and enjoying it. And I was able to get rid of a lot of negative thoughts that I kept internally because of it, because of that experience in hell. Because once you die, you know, you ultimately don't have any control as to what your reality is. It's up to the universe at that point. Is like, all right, this is it. You know, like, this is your existence for eternity. And who knows, maybe that, you know, that eternity does come to an end at some point. That's trike, man. Alrighty. I mean, that's really what I have to say about the second weed trip. Eventually I'll get into the third and the fourth weed trip. But that's it for now, you guys. Peace the fuck out.